Come, friend, now lend me an ear, for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with he, him, and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices. 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&Me, featuring Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor. One knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. 2 eyes, 4 cheeks, 2 souls on his feet, 2 hands for winning and foes to defeat, 1 tongue, 2 lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Hello, I'm Victor Rivera, and welcome to D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself. Welcome to episode 13, D&Spooky. I'm a spooky dragon. Here, hold on, I've been practicing. This way. And now I'm gonna try and look at that magic lady, so let me know if I'm getting the eye contact right. I'm gonna look at like 9 positions and then I'll screenshot the best one. So she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, she's kind of that's good. And then the warrior ahead of me. Dragon. This is all very good content. This is very silly. All right. Let me get that out of here. I have a costume on. There we go. For Halloween this year, I'm going to be D&Me. So this is out of cardboard. And isn't it fun? I'm going to go to a Halloween party, and I should make them play this episode, like on the TV, as everyone's mingling around. Everyone's going to be vaccinated or are test negative at this Halloween party, but look at this. Isn't it great? Yeah, this is very good. I'm going to see how long I can stand it. It's almost like, putting a dog or a cat in a Halloween costume or a Christmas sweater, and they're like, no. All right, turned up the gain a little bit. I'm house sitting right now, so I'm in a different location than when I normally film. So here we go. Thank you so much for joining D&Me. I'm Victor Rivera, and welcome to episode 13, D&Spooky. The theme song is produced and performed by Bradley Owens. You can find them at Bradley Owens on Instagram. This is my last D&D dedication, or D&D to people who work on Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So I've done this series where I reached out and tweeted as many of the Wizards of the Coast staff that worked on Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which is the campaign guide that I'm using for D&Me, this first campaign. And some of them responded and liked my tweets and stuff. So I've been thanking them, and this is my last little segment for a while. But last time I thanked editor Scott Fitzgerald Gray, poster map maker Jason Engel, and interior illustrator Siddharth Chattervedi. And then for this last little segment, I would like to thank interior illustrator Corey Trago Erdner, who liked 2 of my tweets and responded. So thank you, Corey. You can find him at Corey Trago Erdner on Twitter. So that's Corey, Cory, Trago, Trego, Erdner, Erdner. I'm not going to spell all those again. And then thank you, thank you, designer Matt Cernett. He liked one of my tweets, so you can find him on Twitter at Cernett, Cernett. And then thank you, last but certainly not least, interior illustrator Darken, Daarken. You can find him at Darken Art on Twitter, and he responded to one of my tweets. So thank you, y'all, and thank you all the fabulous Wizards of the Coast staff who liked my tweets and responded. That means a lot to a little old player like me, someone who will eventually be D&D rich and famous. But thank you very much. D and dedication, or D and to people who worked on Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And then I'm segueing into thanks. So thanks, it's another little series where I thank other people. So thank you to my sister Sarah, who actually we spent some time last night together, and then she got me some really cool D&D stuff. So, all right. That's one of the last times I'm going to adjust you, because this is a lot. So thank you for Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It's so Halloween-y, It's so Halloween-y, and there's a witch and then a cauldron of everything, and it's very cool. So that's exciting. And then she got me this great water bottle that I'm going to drink from tonight. That has saving throws on it. And all right, I get it. Get out. Let's see, 6 minutes. Cool. So saving throw, and it has all the good dice on it. So, hold on. That's vodka. And then finally, she got me some candies in this awesome little D20 tin, and these are Dungeons and Dragons +1 cherry potion candy. So open it up, and there, I don't want to spill them on my laptop, but there are some candy, and I haven't tried them yet because I wanted to try them on stream. So hold on, they look like little potion bottles. Isn't that cute? So they taste like pears. Yum, yum, yum. And then, speaking of candies, let me get my hair right, because my frame messed up my hair a little bit. All right, in the back. It's going to just be poofy. That's fine. And speaking of candies, guess what, nerds? I got Nerds. So, Nerds, the candy, has Dungeons and Dragons candies out. And it's got a mimic on it. So I got some of that. And then some gummy clusters. Yeah. How cool is that, y'all? Dungeons and Dragons. We did it. We got our own candies. And I heard these are actually amazing. So I'm going to try one on stream real quick. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, I might not be able to try one on. All right, so I'm not going to try those because I can't open them. So this will be sonically unpleasant to listen to, but here we go. I haven't tried Nerds in a long time, so the cool thing about the let me not do that while I'm opening. Look at all them nerds. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, my green screen is still up, so all the green nerds are translucent. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, candy. Oh, no. All right, let me put that away, too. Let me try to open this one last time. No, too much effort. As Deadpool will say, maximum effort. Yeah, so nerds. That's awesome. Send me D&D money. And nerds money. All right. So, a couple of the D& revisions and D&, research after the fact. From last episode, D&, research, I had confirmed by Dyson Logos himself at 4:40 today on Twitter that these little guys... here, hold on. That is a fireplace. And I had wondered out loud if that was the case last episode, and that is correct. And then privies are bathrooms. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm done with that. And I think I'm done eating my candy. So, here we go. D&, recap. So, last episode, my boys got the deed to Troll Skull Manor. And then as they got it notarized and officialized, then they were left to their own shopping devices. And they decided to, if they were to live in Troll Skull Manor, that they needed beds and the beginnings of furniture, but they needed a place to sleep that night. So they went to the forest for the trees, and they met with Spanish Moss Stash, who is a tree ant, and Woodrow the Woodwode, and they got beds and stuff and changed out some of their wooden inventory. And then they went to another store called Steam and Steel, where they met Kylor, a halfling, Bruce, a shark triton, and then their kids, and they exchanged some of their metal inventory. And then they also exchanged their silver bars that they took from the Kenku warehouse, which I was doing the math today about like how much coin they got. That's a lot of coin, yo. That like each silver bar was... Is that a plane? Or is that just the heat? I don't know. Each silver bar is 50 gold, but since they're like Kylor and Bruce were running low on it, then they gave an extra 7. So that for 2 bars is 114, and then Tipsy and Onyx pretty much got 4.5 bars because of all the dealings, and that's like a bunch of money. Let's see, how much money is that? Because I was like, holy cow, they're flush with coin. 256 gold after all that, which I love because I don't like being broke in D&D. So then they flash forward at night. Tipsy was tucking himself into bed and arranging his new bed, and then he heard footsteps and knock at his door, and then he went to open it and no one was there, and then he slowly turned around because he heard a tanker fall, and then he looked into his room and then saw his pillow was floating in the middle of the air and then dropped, and then he ran screaming from his room towards Onyx's room. So that's where we're picking up now. Tipsy slams out of the door and rushes into the hallways and like blindly charges up the steps because Tipsy is in the 2nd floor and Onyx is on the 3rd floor. So Tipsy rushes into the hallway and starts screaming hell up the stairs, where then he would go into the little landing area in the 3rd floor and careen towards Onyx's door and pushes it open and runs down the little 15-foot hallway and then into Onyx's bear room, which it sounds like bear, like B-E-A-R, the animal, but it's an empty room, because everyone has an empty room right now. But Onyx has like polar bear powers, so. And he finds Onyx sitting on his bed. Tipsy runs into Onyx's room and then sees Onyx climbing off his bed, reaching for his ice hammer. Where previously Onyx was sitting on his bed, staring in the dark out the open bay of windows that he has, overlooking the nightscape of the city, which is very nice. But now Onyx is standing up with his ice anchor at the side. What? And Tipsy runs in.
Oh, God. Oh, that was so scary.
You sound as eloquent as I am.
Eloquent? That's not a word you would say.
And then you hear at the door, then footsteps coming, and Tipsy goes, "No footsteps!" And then he turns, and around the corner comes Rock, going, What is going on? I heard screaming, hooting, and hollering." And Tipsy, out of breath, goes,
There was a pillow floating in the air, and I didn't know what to do, and so I came in here.
"A pillow floating in the air. Tipsy, are you okay? Are you sure you're fine?" And he stops and listens.
Oh, I thought I was honestly being chased and stuff. So, but there was a pillow floating in my room, and it was really scary. Can you help me investigate it?
Investigate? Sure. I was just sweeping up my room. After we were done with Steam and Steel, then me and Toot went and got, just one or two general good things. So, and he holds up his broom. "I was sweeping, and if you want to borrow it for your rooms, then feel free to. This is the Manners' broom." So,
Okay.
and then Toot got a tinderbox, if you were wondering, because that has been in my notes for a while. So, yes. Oh, they'll have to pay for that too. Oh, I'll write that down. So, then Onyx goes,
All right, well, let's go to your room.
and he pushes past Rock, who goes, "My broom," and then pushes past Tipsy also, and then Tipsy follows right behind Onyx, like is doing the peeking over the shoulders, like, and Onyx goes down the stairs to the little spare room on the second floor, and he looks into the room, and then Onyx sees, well, let's roll for that, because 14 plus perception plus 2, so 16. With a 16, he looks into the room, and then he just sees a gnome-sized bed and a box frame and a bed spring and all that, and then looks at the pillow in the middle of the room, and then looks around, and there's not a lot of other stuff. Like, there are some items that Tipsy was unpacking from his magical backpack that are just kind of leaning up against the wall, or like the beginnings of unpacking a room. And he sees the tankard that is on the ground sideways, and he sits a minute and watches and listens, with Tipsy right behind him on the shoulder going, like you could just see his eyes. And then Rock behind both of them in the doorway going, the pillow's in the middle of the room and I don't see anything. And then Tipsy goes,
Well, it was floating, okay? And pillows aren't supposed to do that. Like, I know they have feathers in them, and so feathers were part of flying for, like, birds and stuff. Maybe I'm just tired. I'm sorry. Can you just...
So he walks into the middle of the room and he picks up the pillow and puts it on his bed. And then he goes,
Okay. Well. Huh. All right. Good. You both can go upstairs now. I'm sorry. And then Rock goes, "It's no worries. We're still relatively new here in Waterdeep, so I can understand if you are getting jumpy." And then Onyx just, and then exits, and you can hear him boom, 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 up the stairs. Saving throw water. So, Tipsy's like kind of confused, and he's holding the pillow, and he's eyeing it suspiciously. Okay. Rock, do you have, like, stuff to figure out magic? I have lots of stuff to figure out magic. Let me look specifically. Do you... I have detect magic. Yeah, I will do detect magic. And then he kind of walks towards Tipsy's bed, and Tipsy's bed is a third of Rock's size, and he was going to sit on it, and he goes, let me just sit on the ground here. And then he sits crisscross applesauce, and then he kind of folds his fingers in his lap, and then closes his eyes, and magic, 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 magic. And then he spends the next 10 minutes and 6 seconds casting Detect Magic as a ritual spell so that he doesn't have to spend a spell slot. Which means Detect Magic. Detect Magic can learn School of Magic 30 feet. So in 30 feet, then he is there meditating, and then he opens his eyes, and a couple of the things around the room light up with this like magical glow of just like that has transfiguration magic about it, and like a little aura around it, and they're different colors. So like red for transfiguration. I don't know if that's transmutation. There we go. Or green for abjuration, and stuff like that. And he's looking around. He looks at Tipsy, who's pretty hella magical. Like Tipsy's just like pulsating. Boo, boo. So what do you see? Boo, boo, boo. And Rock goes, nothing out of the ordinary. Your magical items there, strewn about, not particularly placed well or organized. Okay, I get it. So, but do you see anything like, that's not supposed to be here? Honestly, Tipsy, I don't. I'm sorry. But if you are scared again, let me know. I'm just upstairs. All three of us are upstairs, actually. So you take your time, and you have a good night. And so he bids Tipsy adieu, and then gets up and starts going up the stairs again. And Tipsy's now standing in the middle of his room, and it's very quiet, and he's looking around. Okay. Waddles? And then he looks down into his pocket, and Waddles looks up. Yeah? You saw that too, right? Yeah, no, I saw it. It was really scary. It was really scary, wasn't it? Okay, well, I don't trust you, pillow. And then he shouts over to one of the pillows on his bed. The other one I trust because it's not floating. See, look, it's not it is floating. And so now above the bed is the pillow that's like the other pillow that's floating. And Tipsy goes, come on, man, it's back! And then, like, Tipsy's still maintaining eye contact with the pillow, and then you hear like footsteps coming back down the stairs, and then as soon as Onyx and Rock turn the corner, then the pillow is thrown at them. And let's actually roll to see if Rock and Onyx see the pillow being thrown at Tipsy, or if they turn the corner just late enough to see Tipsy just holding a pillow. That'll be, I'll do
I'll do athletics for both of them to see how fast they came down the stairs. So a 9 plus 6 for Onyx, that's 15, and then a 6 for Rock plus 0. So Onyx is there, and then Onyx is there first, but let's roll some percentile dice. So that's a D10 and a D100, and then you put them both together to like out of 1 to 100%, then these determine like percentages. So I will say for Rock, if Onyx, because he ran in first, if he rolls 66 to 100, then he did see it. So the last, like the bigger third. So a D10 is a 1 through 10, and then a D100 is 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0. So one's the tens place and one's the other place. So with the 50 and then a 0, which I was trying to figure out, like, because I rolled a 0, 0 and a 0 one time, and I was like, is that 100 or is that 100 or is that a 1? And then internet was telling me stuff, and I was like, okay, I'll figure that out later. So a 50 and a 10, a 50 and a 0 might be a 60, technically, but either way, he does not roll above 66. So Onyx runs in and goes, you're just holding a pillow. And then Tipsy's like, no, it was thrown at me. Isn't that right, Waddles? Yeah, it was thrown at us. But you just hear, and then Onyx is, and then you hear, I came as fast as Tipsy, is that the same pillow, or are you holding, is it still here? And then Rock peers into the doorway into the empty room. Tipsy, there's nothing. And Tipsy's like, no, the pillow was floating, okay? You didn't see it with your detect magic. I don't know why. Maybe it's not magic or something else, but, like, that's scary, huh? It's not particularly. It's a floating pillow. What was that? No, it's very scary. You're right. I am sorry. And then you hear coming down the stairs, and then Toot Toot goes, what is happening to... What's happening? And then Tipsy's like, one pillow was up, and then the other pillow's up, and Rock doesn't believe me. And then Toot Toot looks down at Tipsy holding a pillow. A pillow is up? It was floating! It was floating in the air like this. And then Tipsy holds up the pillow and then lets go of it, and it does not float. It falls to the ground, and Toot Toot goes, and then looks over at Rock. Sure, Tipsy, we had a very long day. You sold a whole bunch of stuff, so maybe you're just tired and a little bit exhausted. And then Tipsy goes, no, the pillow is floating. Not this one down there, but that one in the air right now. And so then he points over to the pillow, and then, this is interesting. They all look over, all four of them, and then the pillow is indeed floating in the air. But with detect magic, let's see how long that lasts, because if it lasts like 10 minutes, then Rock will still be able to see it. But if he doesn't, duration, concentration up to 10 minutes. So after Rock scanned Tipsy's room, then he would have dropped it because he didn't see anything. So now they all turn their heads and look at this pillow floating in the air, and then it drops, and then all four of them do a and then like your legs running in the air, and then they all like boom, Hanna-Barbera poof, and then you just see the four clouds of smoke, of dust where they were standing. And so they all are running towards, let's see, who's the most athletic? So it's probably Onyx. Yeah. So Onyx is heading up the herd, and then he just goes up the stairs, and then would he go to his room? Sure. he'll run straight to his room because it was either that or like Rock's librarian study. But no, he's a creature of comfort, so he'll go to his bedroom, and so all four of them follow, and then slam the door behind them, and then they're in the bare area in front of the open door windows, and then all of them just like Tipsy. Toot Toot says, Tipsy, your pillows were up.
I was telling you.
Okay. So, and then he looks over at Rock. This means Volo was telling the truth that this place is haunted. And then Rock goes, yes, he was telling the truth. And then Spanish Mustache was telling the truth that it's haunted. Although technically Volo said it wasn't haunted, but it might have been haunted. So now it's definitely haunted. And what do we do about it? And then they're all kind of panting, and Onyx is like turning his ice anchor over in his hands, just the bar. And he goes, I can probably hit it.
Hit what? What is it, though? Is it a ghost? Is it a ghast, which is technically a subcategory of a ghoul? Is it a geist? Is it a poltergeist, which are two different things? Is it a spirit, a specter, a shadow, a shroud, a rotting wind? And then at that, Tipsy smirks. Is it a wight? Is it a will-o-wisp? Is it a wraith? Or not to mention any of the liches or zombies or undead? It's like, what? What are we dealing with? Oh no. Volo's Guide to Monsters is in my room. And I read some of it, but that might be more information. I have it on my shelves because and he looks over at Tipsy, I was organizing and putting things away in, proper places where they could stay for. Is this really the time? No, I was just saying, we could go over there, but I don't know. And then he kind of huddles the whole group together. I don't know if it will be out there waiting for us, or... And then Tutu goes, here, I have an idea. Shh, shh, shh. And then he quiets everyone, and then he opens up his giant Loxodon ears and listens. He will use keen hearing, which gives advantage on perception and other stuff for hearing. So he will hear if there's any noises happening. That's a 6. But then advantage. Go off the table, and again, and it's on the ground. But that's an 18, so I'll keep it. I don't care. Perception, so +3, that's 21. So Toot Toot closes his eyes and opens up his ears, and then he can hear the 3 different... Waddles wasn't running, so he's not panting. But the 3 different panting of the 3 boys. And then he hears from downstairs. Some very light, if you couldn't hear that, I'll try it again. Hold on. And so Toot Toot goes, it's doing something downstairs. It sounds like things are moving. I don't hear footsteps. Well, they might be footsteps, but it's almost like he's dragging something. I don't know. And then I will roll for something to happen. Hey, okay. And then you hear... Oh, okay. I'm not going to tell you what I rolled, but you heard very light things sliding across the floor, but very light. And then you hear something much heavier being dragged across the floor, and Toot's eyes open up. That is scary. So the first 2 times something was happening, like something light was being dragged, and now something's heavy being dragged, and that's quite scary. What do we do? Do we stay and fight it? Do we leave?
And Rock goes, let me look over in my book real quick. So it's still downstairs? And Tutu goes, yes, right now it is downstairs. And so Rock leaves Onyx's room and then goes and then checks into the hallway, and then he hears the hold on. From down the stairs to the right that go down to the second floor. And then Rock gathers up courage and then sprints towards his library and study across the way, and then flings up at his door. And then he has maybe 13 books on his shelf. It was 7 plus whatever, all the literature he has gathered in the past couple adventures. But he goes over and goes, Volo's Guide, Volo's Guide, Volo's Guide. And he picks up this red, thick book, red leather cover, and he opens it and goes, I don't think any of this. Okay. And then you hear from downstairs, and then Rock goes, oh no! And then he runs back holding the book, and then goes over to across the way, and then hooks to the right to go into Onyx's bedroom, closes the door, and then walks in, runs into the where the other 3 boys are, and he goes, and then the other 3, what happened? What happened? I got my book, but Victor didn't bring his copy of Volo's Guide to Monsters to the house he's sitting because he didn't think he'd use it. But Rock, I looked. I can't remember. I can't see anything here. But something happened down the stairs, downstairs, down these stairs. And then Tutu goes, "This is so scary." And then, Onyx. You have one of the exits. We can exit out of Troll Skull Manor using the stairs up to the turret peak right here. And then he points over to the door in the corner, and Onyx goes, sure, yeah, okay. And then Onyx leads the way, and he opens the door, and then it's this tight space, then it's a tight spiral upstairs, and then Tipsy goes, I didn't know we had this. And then they're going upstairs, and then, okay. And then they go up to the top, and I want to change it because last time I said it was a door that you open because I was concerned about the snow. But we're going to say it's a trap door because that's cooler. And, I don't know how they actually deal with trap doors and stuff in medieval times and, on castles and turrets and peaks and stuff. But anyways, then Onyx is the first one to go up the spiral staircase, and then he's at the trap door and goes, all right, here we go. And then he struggles because he can't open the trapdoor to go outside, and it locks from the inside. So Onyx goes, I can't get in. I can't get out. And then you hear Rock underneath go, you are strong. Do strength at it. And then Onyx goes, and then again, okay, 13 plus 6 for athletics. Then Onyx is at the top of the stairs, and then he shoulder checks it, and then you hear a crunch of the wood above his shoulder, and some of the wood caves upward, but it's still not moving. And Onyx goes, I can't. What do you mean you can't? You beat everything up. That's your solution to stop. You don't use your brain, you use your brawn. And Onyx goes, I will get you next. And then you can see his his yellow eyes turn brighter yellow. And Rock goes, I am so sorry. That was a mistake. The adrenaline is pumping, I think, for everyone. Tipsy, do I speak for you? Tipsy goes, this is so not the time. And then Tutu goes, okay. Let us, oh gosh. Are there any other, let's try the windows downstairs in your room, Onyx. Okay. And then Onyx tries to come back downstairs the tight spiral staircase, but the other 3 boys are there. And then you hear, come on. Excuse me. It's hard to have 3 characters all talk at the same time. So, oh, excuse me. Can you not? Come on, move. This is so scary. Just, ow. Onyx, you stepped on my foot. And then they all kind of, the door opens and they all collapse like Zabumafu's adventure closet, where they open it and then everything falls out. So they all kind of tumble out of the stairway to the turret peak, and then Toot Toot goes, okay, so we will open these windows and escape. We're kind of high up to the 3rd floor, so just be careful. Do we have rope? And someone find rope. I have rope, I think. Hold on. And then he goes over to one of the windows and he tries to open it with strength as well. 8. 8 plus 3, 11. So he goes, Onyx, did you lock these?
I don't lock it. These were 3 stories up. No, I didn't lock them.
You do it, because you're straight. Well, yeah.
And so then Onyx pushes Toot Toot aside, and Onyx being 5'1", and then Toot Toot being 7'3", like, he's got some strength to him, as we found out with the other rolls. And then they 16 plus 6. All right. So then Onyx goes, move, and then he pushes Toot Toot, and Toot Toot like stumbles to the side, and then Onyx with like free solo grip where it's just the fingers, he goes underneath the windowsill and then and he strengthened so hard that the bottom of the window pane kind of crunched up and the wood itself splintered, but then the glass itself shattered into this spider web, just completely upwards. And it's this beautiful pattern if we're not in the middle of scary, but the whole panel just shatters into 1,000 pieces, but the pieces stay perfectly in place. They don't shatter outwards, shatter inwards. They're just there. And Onyx goes, and then with that 22, I'll say that like he punches that perfect plane of glass, and then and he punches the window right in the middle, and you expect glass to just be showering out into the alleyway, but you hear the like crunch of those glass shards right there, and then you see like a mini shockwave expand outwards, and then the window on his right all shatters glass, and then you can hear in the private bathroom there, and then the other 2 doors in the 5-foot kind of little hallway to get into Onyx's room, and then you hear all around Troll Skull Manor all the windows shatter, and Onyx's fist is driving through, but he cannot penetrate towards the outside. And then he removes his fist, and in the knuckles there's like maybe 11 pieces of tiny little shards of glass, and he goes, 1, and then some blood drips down, and then one single droplet splashes on the ground. And as we watch that blood droplet splash, then another wave sonic blast goes outwards, and then all of the lights throughout Troll Skull Manor like dim as if on a dimmer. That they don't have electricity, but like all the torch lights and stuff, so now it's all dim light. And Toot Toot it says in kind of the near darkness, I'm not gonna have it so dark that like my characters will go, well, I have dark vision, so because that's very a typical D&D player move, but it's now dark and creepy. And then the light shining from the outside has like, if you are a theater connoisseur, technical theater, then a gobo is these little circles of pie tin metal, pretty much with patterns on them, and then you put them in front of a light, and then for stage lights, then it has this pattern on the ground now. So it's as if every pane of glass, every window is now a gobo, just showing shattered glass. And that's like that blue-white illumination where it's like, oh, this is dark, this is nighttime. So then Tutu goes, what is going on? And then you hear from deep downstairs, like, no, I don't like that. You hear like a settling of whatever was really big and being dragged, like settle downstairs. And then Toot Toot looks up, and instead of his 3 companions that he sees, he looks up, and in this new kind of Last Night in Soho, really, just imagine really bright colors that is like nighttime and stuff. Then he looks up, and instead of his 3 friends, then he looks over, and then Rock has transformed. Well, Rock now looks like, instead of his tusks going upwards, then like his big tusk teeth, then they are now pointing downwards. And instead of his typical purple, then you see him like this orange and fur all over him. And then Tutu goes, what? And then he looks over at Tipsy, and Tipsy goes, hold on a second. Then Tipsy looks over at Tutu and goes, what's the matter? And then he looks at Tipsy, and Tipsy, he's in this, he has fur too, but his eyes have like migrated out towards the extremes. And then you see protruding buck teeth. He goes, Toot Toot, you look strange. And then poking his head out of Tipsy's pocket, then you see a little squirrel with a nut, and just and then the camera pulls back on Toot Toot, and what you see is very much the Cowardly Lion, like the fur suit from Wizard of Oz. Then it's like loose hanging on him, and like he has this mane about him. He is still like, he has his brown skin, but the whole suit is brown fur, and his trunks, instead of being curved and elegant, they're kind of segmented out into like a geometric pattern outwards. And then on top, he's wearing like, because he's bald, but he's wearing this like little weird wig toupee thing that splits in the middle, and it's dark brown hair. And he goes, oh, and then he that's what Toot Toot sees of everyone else. And then he goes, well, you lot are what did you guys do? Dang it, it's not good. I tried. But he looks around. What is going on? Oh, what is going on? Yeah, okay, I can do it. But then he looks around and going, what is happening? What you lot look different. And then we see from Rock's point of view, Rock goes, and then he looks down at himself, and instead of the fanged being that Toot Toot saw, then Rock looks down, and he's holding his broom, but his black robes have changed into like this dress. And then he looks down at his hands, and instead of the light purple that he is, they're green. and then he looks up, kind of, and he moves his head around, and then he feels a floppy hat, and then the camera pulls out, and then Rock has on a big wide-brimmed hat that points to a tip at the top, and it's black, and he's wearing a black dress and holding a broom, and his skin is green, and he looks down, kind of when you look at your own nose, then it's elongated, and the chin is too, and there's warts on it, and he goes, this is really not good. I don't actually know if this is cultural appropriation because witches and wizards are technically different. Like, I just want to say that, like, there's debate about how the differences are, but, like, witches are not necessarily female wizards, and I just want to say that up front. And then, I forgot a detail. So, when Toot Toot is looking at the other ones, then he sees Rock as this furred creature with the fangs going down. He sees Tipsy as this furred creature with his eyes going across. He sees Waddles is a squirrel now. And then he looks at Onyx, and Onyx is now clean shaven, but his eyes are super wide apart too, and super rosy cheeks. And you can see the hair going back, and it's black instead of the stark white that it normally is. And then Onyx goes, "What?" So that's funny. Is anyone getting this? I'm gonna open. All right. So then, yeah. So Rock is now something, and then everyone looks over at Onyx. Tipsy and Rock look over at Onyx, and Onyx is clack, 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 because his whole thing, because he has vertebra in his beard, but now his beard, he has vertebra in his beard to replace like hair ties. So he looks down, and his beard is now just long bones. And then he kind of tries to look behind him, and his dreadlocks clack behind him because they're just gatherings of bones also, like this long wig of bones. And he looks down, and like, he's just a skeleton now, and he looks up, and it's very Pirates of the Caribbean, that one with dreadlocks, in the first little bits where you can see them turning into skeletons, and there's one with dreadlocks and tries to talk to and then underneath the ship, and then he's walking across, and then he's floating. So very much imagine that. And then Tipsy, like, and then the camera looks over at Tipsy, and then Tipsy looks just normal, except for Toot Toot. Toot Toot has his own like group costume when looking at everyone else, because in my head the introductions were literally reversed. So, anyways, so the camera looks at Tipsy now, and Tipsy just looks completely normal, except he has a little name tag on his chest, and he looks down. What's this? It says sober. Wait a second. Am I sober now? And then he like sniffs clearly, and then his cheeks aren't rosy. And he goes, "This is the scariest thing that could possibly happen. No. So, just to plainly say it, Tipsy is sober. That's his Halloween costume. Onyx is a scaling tin with like no eyes. They're just the deep, dark recess of a skull. Rock is a witch, and then Toot Toot. Did anyone catch it in chat? Let me bring up that chat. Nah. Toot Toot is Manny from Ice Age. And then he's looking around. I couldn't do a Ray Romano to save my life. I've been trying for the past 2 days of like getting, but it's nasally, but it's also New York. And I just don't want to do it very badly. So he was Manny, and then Rock was Diego, and then Tipsy was Slash, and then Waddles was the squirrel. Does the squirrel have a name? Everyone. Does the squirrel? I think it did, right? My laptop is in a different place. Squirrel, Ice Age. Name? Question mark? Scrat. That's right. Scrat. And then Onyx was the Ice Age baby. Did that Ice Age baby ever come back in any of the sequels? I don't know, and we'll never know. So they're all wearing Halloween costumes. Oh, you know what would have been good? If I then clicked and then they all changed. All right, so tomorrow for one of my posts, I will post my early AM post is normally like, hey, this episode's now on YouTube. So I'll do that with the title card of either me as the dragon or me. I might redo this for the Halloween party. Yeah. And then for my afternoon post, I will work on hero forging them in costumes. Because it's very good. All right, that'll be my little artistic project for the week. I have an artistic project for the week now. Yahoo! This is such a good show. All right, so now they're all in costume. Oh. So for my Ray Romano, I looked up Ray Romano impression, and then there was one video. I didn't look up more because I was like, I don't care that much. I'm not really good at it. So Ray Romano on Jimmy Fallon, and John Hamm was doing an impression of Ray Romano doing golf. So it was a, oh, come on. But so I got the, oh, down. Anyways, what's going on? They're now in a room that's darkly lit. And they're like, okay, so Rock says, we cannot leave out the window at the turret peak. What are the possibilities of us leaving out the front door? I want to say very slim, because it looks like we are trapped in here, and I don't know what is going on. And I don't like not knowing. That's my whole thing. I know things. And I don't really drink. I have a glass of wine occasionally. And Rock is kind of freaking out a little bit, and Tutu goes, okay, it's fine. So it is worth a look. Like, we might have to run past it real quick, whatever it is, but it might, that's the only thing like, either that or we can stay and fight. How many want to leave right now? And Rock goes, other people know what this is and what's happening. I don't. That is one vote. Onyx. Oh, you want to stay and fight, of course. Tipsy. I say let's go. All right. I agree. Let's head out. And Onyx goes, And then they all go carefully out into the landing of the third floor and listen. And no sound is being made. And I don't want to roll for Tutu to listen, but no sound is being made. So they go, okay, let's go downstairs very carefully. So they all sneak down. Let's roll stealth checks for my boys. Tipsy, 12 plus 9, 21 for stealth. Tipsy's very stealthy. As the garden gnome, the forest gnome rogue, Tipsy is very sneaky. But I was trying to figure out Halloween costumes for everyone. Tipsy, it was going to be one of them scary gnomes from like Goosebumps, or he was going to be in a cute pumpkin outfit, like for toddlers. But I think him being sober is funniest. Onyx, stealth, 12 plus 0, so 21 and 12. Rock, stealth, 2 plus 2, that's 4. Toot. 9 plus 3, 12. So 21, 12, 12, 4. Then Tipsy's going out in front, and he is one with the shadows. Tipsy goes, oh, wait. If I'm sober, this is a lot easier than... Oh, wait, no, not right now. So he's halfway down the stairs when Onyx and Toot are both doing the... stepping and hitting pretty much not every once in a while, hitting like a step that creaks, and doing the Pink Panther scoot down. But then Rock at the back of the Pack is like whimpering. I don't know what this is. I don't like not knowing. Not knowing is kind of I don't like it at all. I don't know what this is. And then Toot Toot like turns around. He has his trunk that's Manny the Mammoth's trunk, and then it's out, and then he puts a finger to the end of it.
Oh, Deborah.
I'm sorry, Ray Romano. Ray Romano would be the last person to watch D&Me, a Twitch stream about one man playing Dungeons and Dragons by himself. So, you know what? If Ray Romano watches this, that'd be awesome, actually. So, come on down. So, they're all going downstairs, and then they encounter nothing. So they're going to the second floor, and then they can see from that spare room then the noises that were made were they can see from the top of the stairs for the second floor going down. Then they can see the two pillows at the bottom of the stairs and Tipsy's bed at the bottom of the stairs also, but broken in half. And like as if it was thrown or dragged down the stairs or thrown down the stairs, and it just like cracked open. And then they go down the stairs. Tipsy goes, "No, my bed." But like as he's quietly passing, he's thinking that to his head because he's very sneaky with the 21. And then he goes over to the front door, and then boom, 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 boom. He tries the handle and it's not moving, and he pushes at he doesn't push at the windows because they're all shattered. And then let me actually roll for damage that Onyx took from punching broken glass. 4 out of 4 that I rolled. So good. He is now, I didn't bring a dry erase marker because I didn't think. So Onyx, instead of 43, he's at 39 health right now. And his hand's bleeding, which is leaving a trail. Oh no. But, oh no, that's so good. So they're all downstairs now, and it's dimly lit again, and all there's Toot Toot looks around going, "I don't remember buying candles." And now downstairs at the bottom of this manor and tavern, then on pretty much every surface, which there's the bar, but some broken chairs and some broken tables, but every one of them now has like this dripping candelabra and flickering candles that are flickering low. But Toot Toot's like, "I don't remember buying those." And then he looks around, and now cascading down the stairs is this fog. And it's like that dry ice, like smoke just hitting down every step and falling gracefully and gently to the next step. And Tipsy goes, "Oh my gosh, that's very scary." And then you see also a tankard. The tankard that was in Tipsy's room turn the corner at the top of the stairs and start hovering down. And then just floating down the stairs gracefully, with a little bit of a bob to it, as if someone, well, no, it is just gracefully floating downstairs. And then Onyx kind of pushes with his skeletal arms, pushes the other three like behind him and then towards the front door, and is parrying, is keeping this radius from the tankard that is now descending the stairs, and then floats over to the bar area and then just goes underneath the bar, and then you hear it like being positioned into place, and then nothing. And then Onyx clatters forward a little bit because he's all bones now. Clink, ding, 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 ding. Clack, 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 clack. And then you hear a from behind the bar, and then a and this terrifying specter like goes over the bar and towards my boys, and everyone rolls initiative. But actually I need to use the restroom, so I will roll initiative after this intermission. Please enjoy my commercial reel until then. So come back here in 5 minutes.
Hello. I'm the sandwich aficionado. I used to rap in college. I rapped about bread. They'd call me Two Slice. And some other things. A bacchanalia beef lust. The sweet sarcasm of maple bacon. The Cobble Stone Kaiser roll dusted in corn, not mutton bone, as was the custom in the 16th century.
Victor, I'll have you go first. I'm going to go around the table. I want you to keep it simple and be clear and concise. Victor, would you like to get us started?
Absolutely. Nos autem fratris transfigurabe in RSA et AES et secure anti-information.
You guys are brilliant, and I love what you bring to the table.
Times change. Now you can set a budget and receive alerts about your progress. Times change. Now you can go online to schedule an appointment. Sweet time.
Oh, it's 8 o'clock!
Wait, for real? Cut! Sorry.
From the Atlanta Braves.
It's a baseball player. How can one baseball player do this to us? Why aren't you wearing any shoes? We have to get the punk who did it to us.
So I got my buddy here. Yeah, there he is. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop! Oh, stop. My cash pop number today is 6.
Like, haha funny? You mean all pixelated, blurry, and cropped weird? Just email everybody and send them a new file. I'm gonna do a blacksmith workshop. This is now a hostile work environment. I'm gonna call HR. Hello, HR? Yeah, it's Rachel again. I voted for my producer because I like hot breakfasts and a crafty with fruit snacks. Decaf chocolate and milk. We're gonna go inside and challenge some folks to play a new game called Flanks. If they win, I have to give them $20. But if they lose, I'm gonna drink their beer. I did that take, the chug of the beer at the end, in one take. I think it was like 12 seconds or something. I'll wait like another minute until people get back from intermission restroom. Let's see how many people are watching. Probably 600. 17,000 people. I knew it. All right. Yeah, I'll just wait one more minute. How's everyone doing? How's my one viewer? Hi. Hi, Mommy and Poppy. But yeah, this is great. I'm enjoying it. Hello. All right, yeah, let me read the chat a little bit. 701, my dad said, "We are ready." Great. I like the frame about my my D&Me costume. D&Meception, my mom says. My dad said, "Super cute candy. With the frame, you looked like a talking paint from Harry Potter." I like that a lot. That's very good. Maybe a frame. I don't know how to. It just, I'm like bouncing it on my head. And my mom says, "Hello. I totally got Sid. We're both here. His has dropped off." Oh, no worries.
Cool. Just want to make sure. So, attach it to your headphones. Yeah, but like how? Also, I don't want to wear my headphones at a party. I could, but nah, suspension disbelief. Anyways, everyone's rolling initiative now. Okay. No. Oh, I should have opened my candy. Well, I was using the restroom. Okay. Boop. So. Golly. Okay. That is the spooky ghost. 5 plus 3 for Tipsy. 8. Oh, interesting. Just looking at all my stuff. Cool, great. Okay, then Onyx. 18 plus 0. 18 is initiative. Oh, okay. Then, okay, cool. 18, sorry, plus 0. That is Onyx. Rock. 5 plus 2, 7. And then Toot Toot. 14 plus 3, so 17. Okay. The initiative order is Toot Toot at 17. Oh, nope. Is Onyx at 18. Toot Toot at 17. Tipsy at 8. And Rock at 7. Okay. But this scary ghosty came at my boys first. So what they see is like this large form, and it's spectral and translucent and made of this like blue-green shimmering energy and over the bar and at them, and it's this very much the librarian ghost from the beginning of Ghostbusters. This kind of elongated features, bald head, long pointed ears, tattered like a ruined vest and sleeves that flail out and have all the, it looks like it was drugged behind a truck for miles and miles, coming at them. And then with that, that's gonna be some kind of scary power, huh? Let's do this. This ghosty is gonna do horrifying visage. So all of them need to roll a DC 13 wisdom saving throw. What's there? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so Tipsy 13 plus 2, he succeeds. 7 plus 2, Onyx is now frightened of this thing. Rock 18 plus 3, he succeeds, and Toot Toot 15. So wow, all of them did really good except for Onyx. So Onyx now is frightened for 1 minute, which is 10 rounds. If the save fails by 5 or more, which 9 it didn't. So his 7 plus 2 wisdom saving throw, so it did not do this. The target also ages 1d4 times 5 years. Let's see what old bones look like. So 1, only 5 years. Wow. Okay. Because the thing was, if
If the save fails by 5 or more, then the target also ages 1d4 times 10 years. But I was like, you know what? Even though he didn't not fail, but 5 years, it doesn't look. The bones are a little bit more yellow, and he looks down and goes, I don't like it. But then he's like, oh. So that's the top of that. Onyx, first up with an 18, then this thing's flying at him. And what frightened means, the frightened condition, it's right here. Has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight, and the creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its fear. So as the... Oh, cool. Yes, this is perfect. This is... I planned this as an avenue, as an option, but things weren't going that way. I was like, it's totally fine. But this perfectly now, takes a sharp right turn and goes exactly towards that direction. So now the ghost is coming towards them, and Onyx, being frightened, again keeps that radius. This time it's a fearful radius instead of a stand back, with the tankard going down the stairs. So they kind of... The ghost is flying towards him, and then Onyx goes, oh no! And then clack, 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 and then goes over to his left, and he will use his whole movement, which is 30 feet, and he will actually use his action to dash, which for actions you can either attack or you can use dash or some other options. But dash is using your movement again. So he's going to move 30 feet, but then he's going to move another 30 feet. So he runs around the tap room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, then he's right at a wall where left is up the stairs, and then right is behind the bar, and then into the kitchen and pantry. And Onyx knew that the ghosty was going up the stairs and was terrorizing the second floor in Tipsy's room. So he, just blinded to common sense, is going to turn right. And then he figures that the other boys are good by themselves. So he actually goes to the hatch to the basement and then flings it open and then just runs downstairs. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then he throws open the trapdoor and then goes down and then closes it, and it is now dark, and he can hear the upstairs, but he's like, Toot Toot is now next. Toot Toot will, let's see, the thing is coming towards him. What are Toot Toot's actions? Let's do some magic. Let's see. Perfect. So, using a cantrip, then as the ghost is coming towards them, then Toot Toot goes, I am not petrified of no poltergeists! And then he will use Vicious Mockery, which is a string of insults. If it can hear you, wisdom saving throw. Okay, what's a wisdom saving throw for this thing? A 5 plus a 1, 6. That's not going to do it. If fail, 1d4 psychic damage, and have disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn. That's great. So 1d4 psychic damage, which is 2, but psychic damage. Oh. No, that's great. Because I'm looking at its damage resistances and damage immunities. Psychic is not listed in any of those, so it takes the full 2 points of damage. But it has disadvantage on its next attack, so that's good. And then it's coming towards them. I would say it's halfway in the tap room, which is why Onyx could get around it. But then Toot Toot... Ooh, okay. Yeah, Toot Toot has bonus actions and reactions and shit, which I never remember. So So he will say a bardic inspiration to Tipsy, going. Let's see. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And you have sobriety. Oh, whoa. And then he says that to Tipsy, and Tipsy goes, "No, so it is Tipsy's turn next. And Tipsy Well, what is that now? Cunning action. What's cunning action? My sheets? So as a bonus action, Tipsy will use cunning action to try and hide. Well, we'll see if this works. So he will use bonus action to hide. So there is a pile of broken chairs and tables to their left in that little octagonal alcove that's on the northwest side of the tap room. So Tipsy dives in there, and then he will try to hide, which I will give him. Let's see. I could give him disadvantage because the ghost is watching him try and hide, but also, no, I'll just do a straight roll because the ghost is also looking at Toot Toot and Onyx. So 11 plus, stealth. Yeah, that's a 20. So yeah, as Onyx runs around and then Toot Toot, then Tipsy dives into just legs of chairs and piles of wood, and then that was his bonus action and some of his movement, and then he will poke out his face from behind stuff, and then he doesn't have the giant club or sickle anymore. I can take those off the page. Whoa. All right. Shit. Then he will take from his backpack. Yeah, they still have their backpack. I'm not going to play that like they took out all of their items in their bedrooms. I'm just going to have them assumed that they have their inventory all the time, unless they're like naked. So he goes, this might work. This is the only really thing. And then he... all these thoughts. So he reaches down into his backpack and pulls out this really weird, intricately carved green and black wood, hooked and like curved and vines and contorted, knotty, knot filled wood bow. And he pulls it up, and the string itself is humming with like this sickly green energy, and he goes, "Oh, mama, give me strength." Which he has bardic inspiration, so that's good. Excuse me. So he pulls out this weird, very World of Warcraft looking bow, and then it's a very big bow. And since he's a small critter, since Tipsy is a small creature, then he has disadvantage on this because this is a heavy bow and it's two-handed. So shit. Now, does he have sneak attack because it does have disadvantage? Where sneak attack is if someone's flanking him, or if it's hidden, but really if he has advantage on the roll, then that is, I don't think he has sneak attack on this. Okay, because, for sneak attack, it's either it's not necessarily if you're hidden, which I think is a lot of people that's what they think sneak attack is, but it's if you have advantage on the strike, or if you're not incapacitated and you don't have disadvantage. Well, okay. If you do have disadvantage, well, God bless America. All right, sneak attack. Let me just look that up. I didn't also bring my player's handbook because I was like, I know. Oh, I have it written down somewhere. Oh, it's fine. Sneak attack. Sneak attack. You don't need, okay. If you had an advantage on the roll, if it's a finesse and ranged weapon, you don't need advantage on the attack if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it, that enemy is incapacitated, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. And you don't. But he does have disadvantage because this is a very big bow. So I will say it does not have sneak attack. We'll see if next week's Dean revisions if I think differently about it. But so he pulls out this wicked looking bow. Wicked bow. Whoa, what is that? Oh, I got some schmutz on my shorts. He pulls out this bow and he goes, "This might work." And he pulls it back, and you can see the thrum of sickly green energy pulsating through, like a guitar string almost, and it's still like it's all vibrating. And he pulls it back, and you see the shimmer off of the sober name tag as he releases what turns out to be, as he pulls the string back, then an arrow materializes, but it's of a thin bone and like this skull as the arrow tip, but it's like the chin is pointed and it's like a gasping skull. And he pulls it back, and then he has disadvantage on the attack, but it might be cool if it works. That's a natural 20. Damn. And if he didn't have disadvantage, then a natural 20 on sneak attack too. That doubles all those dice. Damn. All right. So, breathe on it. Let's see what the armor class is. 10. Plus, what is the plus on that? 10 plus 3, that's 13. Oh! And the Spectre stats have an armor class of 12. Wow. That hits with 1 point. Damn. Cool. Well, then that worked. And that's amazing because now I roll a 1d12 plus 3. So 6 plus 3, 9 points. That's a hefty chunk. Onyx had 4 points of punching window damage. So with a 9, wow, I didn't expect that to actually happen. So as Sober releases the arrow and it goes into the back of this ghost as it's coming towards Toot Toot. And Tipsy had Bardic Inspiration also, but he didn't use it, so he still has it for, I think Bardic Inspiration lasts up to 10 minutes. Let me just verify that real quick. Yep. Bardic Inspiration is up to 10 minutes that you can use it once you get it. So Tipsy didn't use it, so he can use it later. Then as the ghost is going towards Toot Toot and Rock, then this very voodoo-inspired arrow goes underneath its ribcage and like out its shoulder, at its front shoulder. And then you hear as it rears back. What type of damage is this? Because this is the first time I've used this in... I don't have a damage. Interesting. I need to write that down. Future Victor, write down a damage type for the Necromancer's Summoning Bow that Tipsy has, which is not his specialty, but that totally worked. And this specter takes the full damage because it is piercing with a magical attack. So it gasps and inhales, and that's some of its movement. And then Tipsy will actually use the rest of his movement to run out of hiding and then towards the stairs, but he can only get like halfway there. So it's now the ghost's turn, and the ghost reels after being impaled, and then turns around to see Tipsy skitter. Oh! So this ghost then goes, like, you see this blue-green spectral form, and its whole face contorts into this angry, like, brows super furrowed, and then it tilts its head forward and floats vigorously at Tipsy, and it will do this thing. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so it tries a thing. The ghost floats angrily at a rapid pace towards Tipsy, and Tipsy looks behind him and goes, "Oh no!" and then ducks, because then the ghost like rears off because it missed, and it does not use its possession attack. It kind of rears around and lets out this gasp howl, like, "Ah!" And yeah, so then the ghost turns around and cool. And then it'll actually float completely upwards. Like, it'll skyrocket through the ceiling up, and Tipsy will get an attack of opportunity if he wants, but he doesn't have... Well, he has, like, daggers and shit. So, no, I don't think Tipsy would, because... yeah, Tipsy's like, "Oh no!" and then he ducks. So the ghost goes upwards, and now it is Rock's turn. That's half its movement. Okay, so it's Rock's turn now. Going, okay, look at my hair. Hold on, please. Okay. The ghost skyrockets into the ceiling, and you hear the like howl receding in the background, and Rock goes, "What do we do? This is very scary. Let's see if he can any of his magic." Oh, he will absolutely use mage armor for the first time. So he goes, "Oh, wait." Well, no, second time, I think, actually. But he goes, "Before anything," and then he clasps his hand on his chest and opens his hand, and like these belts of purple magic cut across him, and then like wrap around him. So now he has 15 armor class instead of his normal butt armor class, which I think is 13. So like it's still that's only 2 points, but that's good. And then he goes, do we what do we do?
Do we go up and find it? Do we try and leave? We can't leave. Where's Onyx? Oh no. And then that's the rest of Rock's turn, and then Onyx is now, it's Onyx's turn. Onyx is in a dark cellar, and he is like panting and like looking up at the trapdoor and waiting for something. But he doesn't wait too long because it's still initiative, and he goes,
I need to hide. I need to find a place to hide.
And so he will try and hide. Inside here is a wine cellar and an ale cellar, so he'll go towards the ale barrels and some of them, and he pushes some aside. And he is looking for a place to hide. So this will be investigation forward looking. 17 plus 17 plus 1, so 18. So with an 18, then Onyx moves aside one of the ale barrels and like another one, and he is looking, and some of the ale barrels are like leaning up against the wall, but there's a little space, and so he like crawls back there, and he goes and like he repositions his hand to scoot closer, but then his hand slips a little bit, and he looks down, and there's a piece of paper underneath, and there's a couple pieces of paper, and then he goes what? And so he takes it, and then he just holds it up to his face, and then just in dripping red ink is a singed edges piece of parchment that says, "How dare you!" in like scratchy, vigorous handwriting, and he lets go, "Oh, oh," and he starts screaming, actually. Which is what he just did. So I want to honor that. So he goes, "Oh, oh," and then he backs up into some of the ale barrels, and then like they're two stacked on top of each other. So one like teeters down, and then you can hear a crash and then a splash, and he goes, "Oh," and he's just scrambling up. And his foot slips on another piece of paper, and then he clatters down, and he is now considered prone, and like stale ale is splashed around him and kind of just like forming a big puddle, but that's a loud commotion. And then Toot Toot, it's Toot Toot's turn, so he just heard Rocco, "Where's Onyx?" And then he hears, "Oh, and then Toot Toot goes, "He's over there." So he will go behind the bar. I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4. He can make the hatch to the basement. Why not? So he flings that open and goes, "Onyx, are you okay? Did he go down there?" And then Onyx goes, "Ah!" Then Tipsy will, since it's Tipsy's turn next, he will join them, and he will actually use his movement to go fully downstairs to the basement, and he'll look around and see Onyx flailing about, splashing, and he goes, oh no, oh, is that ale? You know, I'm actually good. Whoa! And then he stares at disdain at his name tag, because, yeah, Onyx is just clinking and clacking. I forgot that he's Bones. I need to remember their costumes. It's fun. So then Tipsy's like, "No." And then he's going to go over there and help Onyx up with a strength check. Fill out the table. 10 plus 1, 11. Now Onyx is like, he grabs Tipsy's hand, but then he slips, and then some of his bones like clinkages. It does the fun thing where the arm falls down, and then like dominoes, like his finger bones go, his phalanges like scatter out, but then they all form back together, and then he's just splashing around and flailing. Calm down.
We all struggle with alcohol sometimes, but.
And then it is the ghost's turn. So upstairs, yeah, you hear just just noise and then howls. And then he will try something. And then you hear another, but it's a lot slower going. Because, yeah, I want to tell you, the ghost is moving Onyx's bed now, but he rolled a 16, but he has a 1 in strength, so that's a -5 modifier. So with an 11, he rolled very good earlier to move Tipsy's bed, but Tipsy's bed is like half of Onyx's bed, so like 25% of Onyx's bed. So Onyx's bed, he's slowly moving it, but it's still mournful, dreadful howls upstairs, and it's very unnerving. And then Rock comes down, and then with that, then him and Tipsy manage to get Onyx standing up, and then Onyx has some of the pages, like, he let go of one of them, but he slipped, and in his foot, between his other phalange, are toe bones called phalanges. Man, I love asking myself questions, because then for D&D research after the fact, then I can come back and go, yep, the toe bones are also phalanges. Phalanges. Toes. No, those are carpals, aren't they? No, phalanges. Yeah, they're called phalanges. Yeah. Metatarsals. Yeah. So, anyways, kind of paper jammed up into his foot bones is this other piece of paper, and he goes, and he's kind of hobbling on one foot, and then he lifts his leg up, and Rock goes, oh, yeah, let me get that for you, and then he tears the page out of his foot, and then Onyx goes, so scary. And Rock is looking at it and going, this is a letter written in some scary drippy black ink, red ink. And I love reading letters, but maybe now's not exactly the time to read this, but if I click into my inventory, then I can go into a different section, and then I can see that it is stored in one of the letters. And so that is exactly what he will do, because this is a game, and it's a very like video game in my head. So in this, just like the music is, and then you hear the Onyx going, and then splashing, and then just the music, and then you click the start button on the PlayStation controller, and then it goes into the menu, and then we can over to the inventory, and then click open. You see the top says D&Spooky episode 13 letters, papers. And then you see the first one, which is, how dare you? How could you do that? I don't remember what it said, but the first letter is up there with the dripping red ink, and then this one says, we can click on it and then read it at our leisure. Then this one says, L, comma, as if starting the letter. I'm going to my sister's. I want to give you time to think about what you've done. To say I'm heartbroken is an understatement. I sincerely hope you take this time to reconsider, and please reach out to me when you get better. If not, know that I loved you. Loved with a D. Comma, E. And then we're back into the action, and then Rock goes, That's very strange, right? And then Tutu goes, I don't know. Oh, you read it? I don't know what it says. But then it's Onyx's turn now, and Onyx goes, okay, did it go? And as a free action, then it went upstairs. We need to do something. Do we kill it? What would they do? They would try to leave, but they can't leave. Then, since we're kind of out of initiative, but I'm keeping track in my head, then Rock goes, and so Rock reads the letter out loud, and he goes, "That's very strange, right? Like, not to put too fine of a point on it, but," and then he gestures to himself. He's like, "I am currently defying gravity." And we look, and sure enough, he's hovering like 3 inches above the ground. And he goes, I think this is cultural appropriation, and I don't think I am very comfortable with this. And then Tutu goes, "We don't know what you're talking about." And Rock goes, "This is all very strange. You are a different type of elephant. You have a name tag. Where did that name tag come from? And Onyx, obviously you are skeletons. So something very peculiar and particular is happening. Something very particular and peculiar is happening. I don't know. Tutu, you even said you don't remember buying the candles. That is correct. We did not buy any candles. We bought beds, and that is it. And Tipsy's bed is broken at the bottom of stairs right now. So I think there's more to this than we can see." And then he reads the letter aloud. No, he already read the letter out loud. So he goes, "I think we need to find, and I know you won't like this, but I think we need to find clues." And then Tipsy says, "Ruh-roh." "Yes, I think there's a mystery to solve. The spirit, the specter, the geist, the poltergeist, the ghost could have hit me and Toot Toot where we stood in front of the door, but he did not. He went up into the roof, into the ceiling. We need to spread out. Okay. Oh, we need to split up. I know what I just said, and that is very bad in situations like this. So let us all, unfortunately, okay. Everyone look around right now in this to see if there are any other more clues. And I know it sounds ridiculous to try and find clues right now, but if you see like a tape recorder or little cassette tapes that go into a voicemail message, we need to find those now. And then everyone will roll investigation. Oh, Victor, you silly goose. All right, that's a 6 plus 2, 8 for Tipsy, 9 plus 1, 10 for Onyx, 6 plus 5, 11 for Rock, 8 plus 2, 10 for Tutu. All of those sucked. So, Rock goes, after like a minute of looking, which a minute in terms of initiative is a lot. It's a long time because that's like 60 seconds, and that makes Onyx's fear go away, actually, because it's a minute, but that'll give the ghost a couple chances to do stuff. So a natural 1, -5, so that's -4 in his attempt to moving Onyx's bed. So I would say, like, since it's a natural 1, then it'll take away another opportunity. 5 -5, 0, 15 -5, 10. So you do hear, like, after, like, if we go upstairs real quick to see the ghost, and then the 4th time, then it, like, scoots back 2 feet.
And then 6 minus 5, 1. So again, then his next attempt back, then his hands go through the post, and he's just, we can see this, but he goes, like howling desperately into the room, which bathes everything in a super creepy light. Thanks, Sarah, for D&D water. Saving throw. So then after a minute, then Rock goes, okay, I am confident that there are no more clues here. Let us go up to the first floor and look there. We should split up though. And then they do so, and then they quickly investigate. Okay, instead of me rolling 4 different investigation checks on the first floor, the second floor, and the third floor, I'm going to roll a D4 to see which of my characters rolls an investigation check. And then I will say that they get advantage on it because the other 3 are looking as well. So that'll expedite things. 2, Onyx. So with advantage, 7 plus 1 investigation, and then a 17 plus 1. So with an 18, then they all look around. Interesting. So they find a couple things in this first floor with an 18. One in the kitchen, it's bare. There's not a lot in the kitchen. There's like a stovetop, but and some ovens, I guess. But up on the walls, and when they go up to the first floor from the basement, then the corners are like the cobwebs have quintupled. Like now there's it's super fucking creepy, and there are jack-o'-lanterns in the corners, and the cobwebs, it's really like just draped carpets, draped curtains down along the walls and in the corners, and there's a fine like 1/4 inch of dust everywhere now. So when they're all walking, then it kicks up some dust, and you can see the footprints, and it's very Halloween-y. Happy Halloween, everyone. Stay safe. So in the kitchen, the walls are smeared with grease and this dripping black ooze, but they can see with an 18, they find underneath this just translucent layer of dripping ick, then they can see some spots on the wall that very much there was something hanging there, and not necessarily hanging because they're only like picture size, so 3 by 5 inches, but there's a couple of them with holes where thumbtacks used to be, so you can imagine that 3 by 5 pictures were hanging up in the kitchen, but they have since been taken down. So that's a detail that you notice. And in the in the tap room, then there's now a chandelier, and from it then there's a little mechanical spider that's and like going down on some web and then like clicking back up because of Halloween. And so then the other part of the 18 is that they look behind the bar, and behind the bar is the only clean place in this first floor, and they find that all of the metal tankards are perfectly lined up, and behind the bar and on top of the bar are kept to this pristine shine. It's well oiled and taken care of, where everything else is now kind of disintegrating around them as they're hurrying through all of this endeavor. And when they're looking about, then they see carved into each shelf behind the bar, and faintly on top of the bar, this wooden etching that on top of the bar, it's facing outwards towards where the customers would be. But in the shelves behind the bar are this really nice wood engraving of Ale Deep. So they find that, and my boys are putting things together like, okay, so pictures and Ale Deep. Did you know that this place was called Ale Deep beforehand? And Toot 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 goes, no. And Toot 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 Toot. And Toot Toot goes, no. Maybe that's a clue. Rock, do you please say yes? Do you have the deed of Troll Skull Manor on you right now? And Rock goes, that's upstairs with all the other paperwork. Oh, that might lead us to more clues. Let's go. And so then they bravely go upstairs, but let's let the... Whoa! Oh! This game is getting great, y'all. The ghost rolled a natural 20, so as they're going up the stairs, then my boys hear, and then all of them need to make dexterity saving throws because Onyx's bed is being chucked down the stairs. All right, +6, 4. Ooh, tipsy. That's a 10. So 16 plus 0. That's much better for Onyx. 7 plus 2. That's a 9 for Rock, which is not great. And a 5 plus 4, 9 for dexterity for Toot Toot. So, Onyx, Onyx leading the pack up, sees his bed being chucked down the stairs, and then he goes, "Huh!" And then with fright, he strikes a pose, and then all the bones clatter to the ground. Like they completely just detach from each other, and then you're... So technically, he avoids, like his dexterity saving throw was saved, but then the other three get like bludgeoned backwards. That's a meaty... Oh boy, what do I roll for that? Let's do... Okay. So I'm rolling a D6 and a D8 to see how much damage this gets. A 5 and a 2. Rock is not down. There we go. Jesus, Rock. So they each get hit with 7 points of bludgeoning. Rock has 1 hit point left. So as the green witch, then he's very stoplighting. So he's green and then blinks red and then blinks green and then blinks red. Toot Toot with a 7. He gets knocked down to 8 hit points left because he has 15. And Tipsy's fine because Tipsy's level 6. He never gets hit with anything. 7, 33, 26. So, is that right? Yeah. So they all get hit with Onyx's bed, and then Onyx reforms. Clatter, clatter, clatter. He goes, sorry. And they continue upwards towards the second floor, where then they go up, and there's nothing really here. There's the den, the common room, the hall, the bedroom, and the spare room. So let's do the same thing, actually. So the D4, 3. So Rock will go, okay, let me try this time. And then he will roll with advantage. 4 plus a 5 investigation, so 9. And then 10 plus a 5. So with a 15, he looks around. He looks in Tipsy's room. I will say with a 15, he doesn't check all of the rooms. So he checks Tipsy's room, which is
now even worse than when he first saw it. So there's no bed, no pillows, no tankard, and some of the magical items leaning up against the wall have just been scattered across the floor. And then Rock goes, well, now this is even more disorganized then. And Tipsy goes,
This is not the time!
and then he checks out the den. And oh man. What would he find? Interesting. So, no, instead, in the common room, there's a fireplace. No, I'll say the den, because that's fun. Yeah, he goes into the den, and then there is a fireplace, and then there is a giant painting hung above the fireplace. But at this point, like, even, what's more Halloween stuff? Like, on all of the shattered windows that are still all in place, then you see, like, window decals of, like, ghosts, but they're the sheets. With the black eyes and black mouth, like stuck up on there, and like Frankenstein's monster. So now all of the rooms in the second floor, all the windows have these cute little Halloween decorations on them. And what's another Halloween thing? I don't know. But I had a lot more stuff in my notes that I'm not doing any of them because this just took on a mind of its own, and it's great and I love it. So above the fireplace there is this painting, and Rock, seeing nothing else because they still didn't buy any furniture, goes over to the painting, and the painting has, again, like smoker's grime on it, very much like the windows of the glass cabinet for the Skewered Dragon when Ivy was tending bar there. And he does and he wipes some of the grime off and wipes it on his black robes. And he looks, and there is two figures, and it's kind of sun-faded, even though it's not facing a window at all. It's kind of facing two windows, I guess. Well, it's facing the patio. But it's sun-faded, so you can't really make it out, but it is a portrait of a couple, and there's a bald-headed gentleman with pointy ears standing tall and straight, and then this woman sitting in front of him, and you can't really make out any details. And so Rock goes, okay, let's go to the third floor. That's where all of our rooms are. So he goes upstairs, and another. Okay, yeah. The ghost rolled a 6 and a 7, so no giant scooching of beds. But as they go up to the third floor, then from Rock's room, then books are being chucked out the doorway at everyone now standing in the landing. And Rock goes, "No, my books, you bastard!" And will he do something? Oh, interesting. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, oh my God. This is one of the best things Rock will ever do. Or has done. Oh. Whoa. Cool. This is amazing. So, Rock sees his precious books being thrown out of his room, his library, his study that he claimed, the first dibs. He was brave enough to do it, and he sees this ghost floating up to the shelves and carelessly, disrespectfully flinging his stuff, and he remembers what he just saw, and then he goes, "Not my books." And then he closes his eyes and breathes, and then you see materialize in front of, in the doorway to the librarian's study, this female form, whose features are dark, but wearing the same, a little bit like billowy sleeves, some pointed shoulders, the same silhouette that he saw in the greased up portrait. And then the ghost takes one of the books. The ghost slides out the scroll tube that has the deeds and all the paperwork of the Troll Skull Manor and throws it through the doorway, and as it tumbles over itself in the air, passes through this silent image that Rock is now concentrating on. This purple shimmering dark form, so you can't make out any features, but just, again, the silhouette. And it passes through the figure, and the ghost is looking where it throws it and then sees the female form and gasps, but it's an inhale, and it's heartbreaking. And it freezes him in his tracks. And from the other side of the door, like this tube, boom, 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 boom noise happens. And then Rock, closing his eyes still, like peeking out with one of them, looks through the female form in front of him to the floating figure behind him. And he goes, "Someone take that! Someone take that! That's the scroll tube." And he's concentrating on maintaining this form. And as the scroll tube flings through the female form, then it just reforms around it. And the ghost turns slowly, desperately towards the doorway. And Rock goes, "Read it, please. Who was the previous owners?" Just kind of like patting his leg towards the boys, and then Tipsy grabs it and pops it open and pulls out, "There's so many papers in here." "Yes, I know. I've read them all. It's fabulous. Yes, knowledge. Yes, but previous owners. That's page 8." And so Tipsy, with his dexterity, that's great. +3 to dexterity, and then +6 to dexterity saving throws, but he leafs through the papers. The previous owner, it was called Ale Deep. Oh, that makes sense, because like Water Deep and then Ale Deep, that's pretty. This is not the time, Tipsy. I'm sober. I'm sorry. And then Tipsy reads, "Okay, so this is, okay, Ale Deep was owned and operated by Lif, L-I-F, Leaf." And then you see the ghost move his head slightly towards the sound of Tipsy. He's looking straight through the wall at Tipsy. Leaf Erickson and Estella? And then the Estella Erickson. And then the ghost, and then Tipsy goes, "That's all I got. I got Leaf, Left, and then Estrella. Ooh, is this bad that I'm mispronouncing it?" And then Erickson with no C. And Rock goes, "Okay, we need to find more. You three look through the rest of the third floor. I will concentrate here. I just hurry, please." And then I will give. I will let. Okay, sorry. I just got caught up in the moment. I'm like, what happens next, Victor? And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what's literally next? And I'm like, I don't know. So I will roll for who. Okay, yeah, I will roll for who investigates the third floor, and it is Tipsy's 1, Onyx is 2, Toot Toot's 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Toot Toot, like, looks around the third floor. He gets advantage on his investigation, so that's a 4, not great. And then a 16, that's great. So 16 plus 2 with an 18. They look around, and then Toot Toot goes into the master bedroom, and he goes, all right, Leaf, Estella, please help me. And then he looks around and he is like fingering the floorboards and the molding up top, and he's like, there's nothing. What would they find? So he's going through the floorboards, and then like where he actually has his bed, then he scoots it out of the way, and he's looking around the edges, and then he finds like this loose wall panel, and then he kind of shimmies it to the side, and he can see inside this very tiny little secret passage, and he goes, Tipsy, come here right now, please. And then Tipsy goes, okay. And then Tipsy runs in, and then Toot Toot just points at this passageway, and then Tipsy goes, yeah, let me go into the dark. Just no. And then Toot Toot lifts him up by the scruff of his neck and then bowls him into this dark passage. And then he tumbles a little bit, and then Tipsy inside. Dark vision, looking around. It's this little crawl space, and inside there is this hoarder's keep of miscellanea. There are pages, and like you see pressed flowers pinned to the wall, and then you see pictures that you imagine were in the kitchen, and they show a half-elf, 2 half-elves, a half-elf couple holding hands and enjoying time in a park. And the half-elf woman is cradling the half-elf man in her arms, and they are wearing wedding vestiges, and just lovely little trinkets all around, and some bar napkins that say ale deep, and then they're all thumbtacked onto the wall. You see an archetypal bar napkin with ale deep on it, with some red lipstick on as a kiss on it, and that's folded neatly in the corner, and everywhere else is degrading into this spirit Halloween, this almost joke. It's an absolute joke of a Halloween scare center, but this place is tidy, just like the bar downstairs. It's loved. You can tell that there's attention paid to here. And then Tipsy crawls in a little bit further, and then he sees stuff on the ceiling, and he looks up, and wallpapering the ceiling are these love letters. To L from E. And they range like, and when Tipsy takes a really good look, then he sees the ceiling, and then the walls are covered in months, years of love letters. with that same handwriting, but instead of the drippy red ink, then this is nice, loving calligraphy and cursive. And then Tipsy crawls out holding one of them in his hands, and he looks up at Toot Toot and he goes, "We need to go over there right now." And then they meet out in front of the librarian's study again, and Tipsy walks calmly with purpose up to Rock, and then he places a hand on Rock's shoulder and goes, I think we have it. And then he walks through. I have goosebumps, y'all. He walks through the female form silent image. And then the ghost looks down at Tipsy as he walks forward carefully, deliberately, calmly up to the ghost with this folded up piece of paper. And then this ghost just is taken aback and notices the familiar paper that it has carefully gathered and put into its secret spot. And Tipsy goes, "Leaf. Left? Leaf?" And then Leaf looks up and then cocks his head a little bit. And the wild form with smoke billowing out of this angry specter starts to simmer down and calm and gather. And what was originally like this spirit shrinks in size as it collects itself, and Tipsy looks up at him and goes, "Leaf, were you you were the previous owner of this bar. This bar was called Ale Deep. You had a wife named Estella. You are Leaf Erickson." And then the ghost sinks downward, and you can tell now that this half-elf bald lines that show character on his forehead. His ears, instead of the long pointed ears, have shrunken down to normal half-elf pointiness. Is wearing his clothes have re-stitched up and fare a lot better. So he's wearing a nice svelte gray vest, and his arms his sleeves collect to normal sleeve form, and he floats downwards, and instead of taking up like maybe 8 feet by 5 feet of just billowing blue-green smoke, then he's collected into this hovering figure. And Tipsy goes, "What happened to you?" And Leaf goes, You are you able to speak?" And Leaf shakes his head. What can they do? Now, seeing all this, then Rock steps into his room, drops the silent image, and goes, "Leaf, are you able to write?" And the ghost looks up from Tipsy to Rock and nods. And then Toot Toot and Onyx are behind Rock. And Rock slowly goes to the shelf and picks up some paper and quill, and then he goes, "Here you go," and hands it to Leaf, and Leaf floats over. He'll just float to the ground and starts writing, and Rock reads over his shoulder and goes, "Leif Erikson, I bought this tavern from its previous owner. Me and my wife had a dream to run this place, a bustling tavern, but I got too obsessed. I ended up caring more about the tavern than her. She tried to help me, but I refused her help. I was ambitious and prideful, and I lost her. She left me, and I went into financial ruin. I gambled away what little savings I had in order to keep this place running. And she found out. She sent me letters asking how dare I. She went to the castle ward with her sister, and on my worst night, I drank myself to death. I vowed to let no one else take this tavern from me. My only lot in life, after Estella, was this building. Period. And with that, the ghost, as much as a ghost can, slumps up against the bookshelves and then everyone's kind of staring at each other and clocking the Halloween costumes, but Tipsy steps forward after some silence and goes, "Leaf, we were given this tavern, this building, Trollskull Manor, as we know it. But I personally, I do want to open this as a new tavern and watering hole. And then he gestures to the other boys, just came into a good sum of money. And we do, well, I don't want to speak for everyone else, but this being our home, I don't know. And then Toot Toot steps forward. I'm pretty sure I speak for all of us in saying we've individually never had a home before. Rock here, he gestures towards the half-orc wizard, studied at a university, so he had some, student housing? Onyx had to, he gestures towards the dwarf barbarian, had to fend for himself in the wilderness. Tipsy gestures towards Tipsy. I don't know your backstory.
Man, neither do I at this point.
But I left my home years and years ago. And this is, I want this to be our home. And Leaf, as long as you behave better, we can help make this tavern something great. And then Leaf looks up. Huh? And then he floats upwards to a regular standing position. Yes. Please don't chuck our possessions just out willy-nilly. And then Leaf kind of chuckles. But the world has lost you once, and I want to help make sure that it doesn't lose you again, if that is what you want. And then Leaf kind of nods grandly and floats around every boy into the hallway and starts picking up books, and then floats back to the bookshelves and puts them back where they were. And that is where we'll end tonight's episode of D&Me, episode 13, D&Spooky. So that went completely... It follows... If I were to write an outline, and I have 3 giant headings, and then 3 headings under each of those, and then 9 details from that each. This episode followed the 3 big headings. None of the smaller details I worked out, but that's totally great, and that's why I do this. So, yeah, that's Leaf, everybody. Welcome, Leaf, L-I-F, Erickson, without a C, to the party. And as we close out this episode, please feel free to listen to Jumpin' Gene Simmons' Haunted House song, 1964. That's the good song that these credits are rolling to. So I'll add that to Toot Toot's ongoing Spotify playlist. But thanks for watching and listening to D&D, D&Me. Yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening. I'm Victor Rivera, and this was D&Me, where I play Dungeons & Dragons by myself. I stream Wednesday nights on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I upload the video the following morning, Thursdays, on my YouTube page. Today's show will be up tomorrow, Thursday, October 28th, and the next week's episode will be November. What? What's that? November 3rd. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, in podcast form on Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and others, merchandise on Redbubble. I have a Toot Toots ongoing Spotify playlist and an IMDb page, and Amazon wish list. And where can you find that all? Boom, on my Linktree, linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures, and like Gnome. And I roll to see which of my characters gives tonight's outro. So left are Tipsy and Onyx. Tipsy is even, and Onyx with an O is odd. 5. Onyx, odd.
Well, I didn't punch a ghost. So, could I have? My fists are magic, huh? Oh, my ice anchor is actually magic. So that might have worked. Oh well, I guess we'll never know. Monster Mash. All right. Good night.